Welcome into Outkick the Show, presented by Oddshark. Go to Oddshark for all your gambling and informational related needs, including a couple of interesting details about who's most likely to be elected president in 2020 that they tweeted out today. Also, is Oprah going to run? Much to get to there. I'd encourage you to go check out oddshark.com. They'll get you ready for the divisional round of the playoffs. We also had Johnny Oddshark on the show this morning. I am Clay Travis. This show, like I said, Outkick the Show, presented by Oddshark. I'd also encourage you to go check out my friends at thehomeloanexpert.com. Go to thehomeloanexpert.com. They can turn a rate in the 4s into the rate in the 2s. They can help you skip multiple months of mortgage payments, and they can make sure that you are able to be as wealthy as you possibly can be for the start of 2018. Get you back in the get your financial house in order. If you listen to me on Jocks, if you listen to me on 790 AM down in Houston, I tell you every single week, go to thehomeloanexpert.com. And also, if you read Outkick, they are presenting sponsor of the Anonymous Mailbag. Be glad that you checked them out. All right, much to get to today. Give you a rundown of where the show topics are going. Going to start off talking about the college football playoff rankings. All those people who claim they were not going to watch because the SEC had 2 teams, yeah, they were lying. I'll tell you why. We'll also talk about the top searches for Pornhub. I can see inside your brain. I know how dirty all you bastards are. And I will tell you why I have flawlessly ranked the top 8 quarterbacks in the NFL who are in their 4th, their 2nd, or their 3rd years. All of that here to get to off the top. I also want to tell you, a lot of you Bama fans were asking for them, and now we have them. We have Aloha Bitches t-shirts to commemorate our boy Tua, your boy Tua, winning the national championship for Alabama. We've had Aloha Bitches t-shirts for Titans fans for a long time, and as a result, I thought it made a lot of sense. All of you were absolutely flooding me on Twitter saying, hey, give us some Aloha Bitches t-shirts now for Alabama fans who want to support Tua. And so now you can go out there and find Tua supported Aloha Bitches t-shirts to wear to your favorite Crimson Tide related athletic events. I'm guaranteeing you that you will be wildly popular and that women will take off their clothes and throw them at you unless a woman is wearing them, in which case men will do the same, but that's not really a surprise. Also, off the top here, Nashville may die soon. It's Wednesday. Massive snowstorm for the South coming through. Expectations are on Friday. Exactly what time, we don't know. Snowfall will begin. Not going to be the kind of guy who draws attention to himself, but I will say this. Same weekend, my wife is taking our oldest son down to space camp in Huntsville and leaving me in charge of 2 sons when the White Death comes. I'm not sure which son I'm going to pick to survive. Either my middle son or my youngest son. Going to have to flip a coin. Not sure which one of them will have to grill up and eat when the snowfall arises and we can no longer make a living. Nanny, people say, you have a nanny. That's not true. We only have a nanny during the week, not on the weekend. On the weekend, I'm on my own and I'm coaching basketball. This is not really supposed to be a story about how incredible of a husband and father I am. But in addition to having both kids all by myself and potentially having to eat one to survive and save the other one during the snowfall, I also coach 6- and 7-year-old basketball. And the head coach is going to be out of town, so I'm now having to take over as the head coach. And it's going to be a big undertaking. That's all I need to say. All right, should be a lot of fun. All right, let's get only 1 to 3 inches predicted. Yeah. Good luck with that. That's what they always say when it snows a foot. They say 1 to 3 inches predicted. It's not 1 to 3 inches as a man measures it. It's a 12-incher. I'm telling you right now. All right, let's get into the big stories here. And we begin with this. So many people on Twitter, they were deluging me to the extent that I can still read my mentions. To the extent that I can still read my mentions at all these fans out there who were from the Big Ten, who were from the Pac-12, who were from the Big 12, who were from the ACC, they let me have it for a full week, about how nobody was going to watch Georgia and Alabama play, about how everybody was going to boycott the college football playoff, about how everybody was not going to be interested in Georgia playing Alabama. And I heard about it all week. People aren't going to watch. Big Ten fans are tuning out. Nobody cares about the SEC except for you ignorant backwoods redneck hicks who live in the southern region. So you can imagine my surprise, and I put surprise in quotation marks because I told you this wasn't going to happen. When the ratings come out, and you guys know I'm not a praiser of ESPN, but I told you there was not going to be a big hit, that Georgia and Alabama was going to be a better draw than Alabama and Clemson, because most people don't know that Clemson's in the ACC most nationwide. Most people just think of Clemson as a shadow SEC school, just like they think of Florida State as a shadow SEC school. That's the truth of the matter, okay? So I said Georgia, Alabama was going to do at least as well as Clemson and Alabama had done the 2 previous years. And guess what happened? Your boy was right. Second highest rated national title game of all time. The second most watched cable event for a national title game in the history of ESPN. Everybody tuned in. Ratings were up 10% over last year. Everybody out there who said you don't want to watch 2 SEC teams, you were lying. Now, I will say this, and I've been on this for a while. Last year, Clemson fans got mad at me. I have said, and I think ESPN's even backed me up on this publicly, the best possible matchup for a national title game in college football is Alabama against Ohio State. Maybe also Texas against Ohio State. Maybe also Florida against Ohio State. A big brand in the South going up against a big brand from the Midwest. And frankly, the best draw of all might be a Big Ten school like Ohio State or Michigan playing against like a USC, because the truth of the matter is everybody shows up to watch in the SEC region. If you looked, I thought this was fascinating. I pulled it. I was like, man, wonder what cities loved the college football playoff the most. And this came from an official ESPN press release. This is kind of curious. Are you ever interested in where the college football fan base actually resides? These were the 15 biggest markets for the college football national title game, according to ESPN's release. Okay, this is kind of interesting, all right? Birmingham, Alabama. Not a surprise. Every single major college football game, Birmingham, Alabama dunks on every other community in the world. More people care about college football in Birmingham, Alabama than any other city in America, all right? This is crazy. The overnight share in Birmingham, Alabama, 57.6 of the televisions in Birmingham were on this national title game. Atlanta was second, 47.8%. Atlanta is a Georgia Bulldogs town, and when it's not a Georgia Bulldogs town, it's an SEC town. That's a crazy number for a city like Atlanta, as big as it is, to pull off 47.8% of the overall viewership, all right? And the reason I'm talking about this is I'm going to compare it with the NFL in a minute. Greenville, South Carolina. Greenville's a great town. Greenville's a great mid-sized town. If you've never been to Greenville, it's an amazing town. I don't know if we have anybody watching right now from Greenville, South Carolina, but I really like it there. Number 3, Greenville, South Carolina. Number 4, Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville, Florida, putting up a big 29. Lots of Georgia fans down in Jacksonville. Jacksonville, of course, hosts the world's largest outdoor cocktail party every year. Number 5, my hometown, Nashville, Tennessee, 28.3. Then Knoxville. Knoxville is big. New Orleans, Austin, Texas, Columbus, Ohio. So the top 8 markets for the college football playoff are in SEC towns, all right? That's worth keeping in mind. That's worth contemplating when you think about the ratings. And by the way, this is always interesting too. You know that half of all college game day viewership comes from the SEC footprint? There's 5 major conferences in America. Half of the viewership for college game day is coming every single week from the SEC markets, all right? 8 overall is Austin, Texas. Number 9, the first city outside of the South in terms of major markets in college football, Columbus, Ohio, then Memphis, Tennessee. So 3 of the top 10 biggest markets in the entire country for college football are Nashville, Knoxville, and Memphis. The only state with 3 top 10 cities in the nation. These 3, Nashville, Knoxville, and Memphis. Then Tampa, Florida, then Fort Myers, Florida, then Norfolk, Virginia, the second city outside of the SEC footprint, then Louisville, Kentucky, and then Richmond, Virginia. So Virginia is a pretty good market when it comes to college football as well. That's the top 15. All right, I gave you all that info. Here's what I think is fascinating about this, okay? Lots of talk about ratings. Lots of talk about why the NFL has been down. Here's what's interesting. College football playoff ratings were up 10%, okay? And they set near all-time highs. The NFL playoff ratings last weekend in the wild card plummeted. Every single one of the 4 broadcasts was down 10% or more, including the Jags-Bills game, which was down 20% over the wild card game last year, okay? That is pretty wild to think about. So, if you are a casual sports fan out there and you are sitting around asking the question, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's cord cutting. People are watching less of the television in general. They're watching Netflix more. They're watching Hulu. They're watching on-demand television, all of these things. That may well be true. But I would ask you this question. If that is true, why would college football playoff ratings be up 10% over last year and NFL ratings be down 10% on every broadcast, double digits across the board, double digits on the season? I think the answer is pretty straightforward, and people have refused to acknowledge it. I think, well, one argument you can make is that college has room to grow. You can make the argument that college has room to grow. The difference maybe would be college is on cable, okay? In theory, college ratings should be even under more siege because ESPN every year is having less people who have access to ESPN, whereas all of the NFL games are on major broadcast television. So why is the NFL down? You can argue it's matchups. You can sit around and you can argue, you know what? It's just matchups. The games weren't as good this year. You had Kansas City going up against the Titans. You had the Jags and the Bills. You had the Panthers and you had the Saints. And you also had another game which was not that great. Whatever the other game was. Like, the Rams and the Falcons at the Rams. But you know what? You added LA, which is a huge television market. You got a great game in Carolina against the Saints. And I misspoke earlier. The Carolina Saints game was down over 20% versus the same game that aired in its spot last year. So here's my argument. The NFL refuses to acknowledge that it has been drastically impacted by the negativity associated with the protests and Donald Trump calling them out this year. I've been on this for a couple of years now. I have been making this argument and people just won't acknowledge it. It's like people refuse to acknowledge that the larger context of politicization of the NFL could possibly have any kind of impact upon the ratings at all. Yet again and again and again, I come back to it and I meet people. I use this example on my show, and I think I wrote about it in one of my columns. When I went down to Naples, Florida, I was down there doing the show for Thanksgiving, and I was there, and my father-in-law, really smart guy, engineer, has watched with me multiple Thanksgivings the Detroit Lions play. He's from outside of Detroit, from Michigan. And he has watched the Lions play for years on Thanksgiving, watched them lose a lot of games, even went to one Titans and Lions game with me and my wife years ago when the Titans played on Thanksgiving in Detroit, okay? It's back when the Titans were really good. I think they were like 9-0 and they went to 10-0 in that game, okay? I have been telling you guys for a while that I've been meeting a lot of people that the politicization of the NFL has hurt, all right? Here is a fascinating question. We were eating dinner, and I said, hey, can we put the Lions game on? And I didn't even know that he was one of the guys and girls who had made this decision. He came in and he said, I haven't watched an NFL game all year. And I said, why haven't you watched an NFL game all year? And he said, I just got tired of putting on the television and hearing people tell me how awful America was. He said, I watch the NFL to be entertained. I don't need to hear players tell me how difficult it is to actually be an NFL player. He said, I just don't have time for it. I've had a lot of friends who were out there that have been telling me this argument, but he was the first person who I've been, literally had to impact the outcome. And so we put on the game because I'm like, I got to watch the game. I got to talk about whatever happens. And then his wife came in and she said, oh, this is the first game that Patrick has watched all year. My father-in-law said he has said straight up because of the protest that he's not going to watch the NFL this year. This is the first time it's been on in our house. This is a really smart guy. This is an engineer. And there are a lot of people, I think, just like him. And I'm using it as an example because I feel like there's a real part of me that feels like, because I live in Nashville, it's an important distance between the coast. I've spent lots of times on the East Coast where I went to college. I basically lived in LA, it felt like, for multiple years doing television with Fox. And when you live in the East or the West Coast bubble, you surround yourself with people who primarily think exactly like you. And I feel like it's important to be in the, quote, flyover country and interact with real people in America who don't live in New York and LA. And all of the executives who represent the NFL live in LA and in New York. So they can easily disregard what people are telling them about not watching the NFL. But I'll tell you this much. The NFL, I'm told this by people who are very plugged in, the NFL television partners this year, Fox, CBS, NBC, and Disney ESPN, are going to collectively lose over $500 million this year because they're not meeting the ratings guarantees that they had previously provided to advertisers. This is hitting them right in the wallet. It's not hitting the NFL, and they are going to the NFL, and they are telling them this protest is starting to have a significant impact. And I just thought it was an interesting juxtaposition when I saw these numbers come out. The difference between the college football playoff and the NFL playoff. Why is college football up over 10% in its playoff this year? And it's on cable, where the cord-cutting thing is really hitting cable hard. Meanwhile, at the same time, the NFL is down over 10% in its broadcast. Now, maybe that'll change this weekend. Maybe these divisional round matchups are going to alter the trajectory of the NFL ratings. But I think it's become increasingly difficult to argue that the protests have not seriously undermined the overall brand equity of the NFL. And the numbers are starting to reflect it. Again, football is up big in college football this year. The matchup wasn't that great if you talk to people who know matchups, because it's Georgia, Alabama. It's not like we're talking about the best possible matchups. Georgia against Oklahoma, Alabama against Clemson. It's a very regional game. And even with an incredibly southern tilt, those games did much better than the NFL games did. And I just think it's a fascinating window into where we are right now. And that is the truth in terms of the ratings. I'm going to write about this, but I'm probably going to start the show off tomorrow, so I'm talking about it because I think it's a pretty fascinating story that isn't getting that much mainstream attention. All right, let's have some fun. Every year, I like to give a little bit of attention to the results that come out from my friends at Pornhub. Now, if you're not familiar with Pornhub.com, who am I kidding? Every single person who's watching this knows exactly what Pornhub.com is. It's a huge collection of free porn videos, all right? And for all you losers out there who claim that you don't know what Pornhub is, don't worry. If your wife's sitting beside you right now, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I know you've never looked at porn. You don't really find naked women interesting. Thumbs up. We'll just completely go there, right? I always like to see, I'm a data guy, right? I'm a data guy. There's a great book that I read called Everybody Lies about how people actually use Google versus what they actually say. And so I love to see what people actually search for. I look at the data of what people read at Outkick. I like to dive into the numbers and see whether my ideas about what people like is actually accurate. So this is the most searched for terms on Pornhub in 2017 as released by Pornhub. And they have a picture of all of their search terms, all right? Yeah, this is big data indeed, all right? The most searched for term on Pornhub in 2017, what do you think number one is? Guess. What's the most searched for term 2017? I'll look at all your guesses right here, Facebook and on Twitter. A lot of MILF suggestions, a lot of MILFs, lots. Nobody has gotten it yet. Number one most searched for term on Pornhub in 2017, lesbians. Gotta love the lesbians. Lesbians is number one most searched for term on Pornhub in 2017. Lesbians, number one with a bullet. They're absolutely dominating. Everybody loves lesbians, all right? Lesbians are killing it. Number two, I don't even know what this is. I'm starting to feel like an old man now when I go into the Pornhub ratings and I look at their list here, the most searched for terms. Hentai? Hente? I don't even know what the fuck that is. Hentai is number 2. And I had to look it up, and I was nervous to type in hentai. Some of you perverts out there are like, oh, I don't know what hentai is. You're lying. A bunch of you are doing into this hentai stuff. Hentai what is hentai? It is drawing sexually explicit acts in order to aid the process of masturbation. Some of you jerk off to drawings. What kind of losers are you? You don't even look at real people? You jerk off to drawings? What a bunch of sickos you guys are. Drawings? Come on. Number 3, this is the number 1 guess according to the Outkick commenters on both Facebook and Pornhub. Number 3, I'm telling you, MILF. MILF always does well. MILF's number 3. Lesbians 1. You sicko perverts who like hentai drawings, jerking off to some drawings like a bunch of ESPN employees. Number 3, we got MILF. This actually gets worse. I don't understand this at all. You guys are fucking sickos with these number 4 and number 5. I might cut off my penis if this was what I was typing to search for on Pornhub, all right? Stepmom. You sick motherfucker. Stepmom. The 4th most searched for term on all of Pornhub. And by the way, they said 81 million unique users used Pornhub in 2017. 81 million of you, and the 4th thing you searched for the most was stepmom, and here's something crazy. It was actually down 2 spots from last year. Last year, stepmom was number 2. What a bunch of sick perverts you are. Stepmoms. Number 5, this is crazy too. I was like, no way, this is real. Number 5, stepsister. How many of you out there right now are jerking off to your own stepsisters, you sick bastards? Brady Bunch mixed marriage my ass. I'm never getting divorced because I don't want my kids jerking off to their stepsisters or their stepmoms. All right. Number 6, mom. You sick bastards. Mom is number 6. Number 7, teens. I don't know how. Stepsister, stepmom, hentai, and moms were all above teenagers. Then we get to Japanese. Then we get to massage. Japanese, like, I'm surprised that you would go straight to Japan as opposed to Asian. I don't know why you would go Japanese unless Japanese people only jerk off to Japanese people. I don't know. Is it like a big difference for Japanese guys to only jerk off to Japanese women as opposed to Chinese or Vietnamese or Korean or whatever? I don't know. Japanese specifically, massage. And then we start to get into some more specific ones here. Anal, ebony, cartoon, Overwatch. I don't even know what Overwatch is. Can somebody in the comments, one of you sick, degenerate perverts, explain to me what Overwatch is? Is this a video game? Is this a video game? People are jerking off to video game porn? Oh my God. What is it? Video game? I don't even know what Overwatch is. I'm not a video game guy anymore. I don't have time for video games. Overwatch is a video game? What kind of video game is it? It's like Call of Duty? So somebody makes video game porn and you jerk off to it? I don't even know how that's possible. Can somebody explain how it would be possible to jerk off to Overwatch? I don't know. Do they like create fake sex scenes with this? I don't know. It's like Call of Duty. That would be a good name for a anal porn, huh? I don't even understand it. Then we get Asian. Somehow Japanese is above Asian. Again, I don't understand. If you want to look at Asian girls, I don't understand how you specify Japanese. Then we've got threesome. I totally get that. Then we got virtual reality. I think virtual reality porn has a lot of potential. I think that virtual reality porn is going to eventually maybe just end the world. I think it'll be like we're all in the Matrix costumes and you just like have sex with whoever you want all day long in virtual reality and nobody ever leaves. Like I think my grandkids are just going to wear virtual reality masks and just jerk off all day long. All the money that I've made, all the hard work that I have done, it's going to all just go up in smoke so my grandsons can sit around and jerk off all day in virtual reality masks. I'm completely convinced that's where we're heading as a society. Everybody's worried about Donald Trump. Everybody's worried about immigration. I'm telling you, we need to be worried about virtual reality porn because once you think you can have sex and you can just jerk off all day long for free, the world's done. The world as we know it is done. It's just going to be like the Matrix, except people just jerk off all the time. I'm glad that I'm never even going to have to get into virtual reality porn myself. I'm going to be too old for it. I'm going to be like the old school guy who has the magazines out, the print publications. I don't know what you perverts are into. Then we got, and I've never understood this. I've never understood this. I don't even understand the concept of this name existing. I never even heard of this until the internet started, all right? Until the internet started, I had no idea this existed. The cream pie. I don't get it. It ain't like an oatmeal cream pie, which I understand. Oatmeal cream pie, Nick Saban's favorite lunch meal. I like the oatmeal cream pie. I don't understand the concept of the cream pie in general. I never heard of it until the internet started. I don't understand who these people are that are like, I just want to look at ejaculation. Like, what kind of sicko are you? Like, just go get mayo, and eat a mayo sandwich or something if you're that much into this. I don't understand how you're into this. Then we get big ass. All right, I understand there's ass men out there. Surprisingly, boobs is not, by the way, in the top of this list. Then we get cheerleader. Gotta tell you, how is cheerleader so low on the search engine? You know how, like, when I had kids and I got into like having kids, you realize there's lots of stuff that you like that you forgot that you liked until you had kids again. For instance, I had stopped eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Once you have kids and you start making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for them again, you're like, why did I ever stop eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? Peanut butter and jelly sandwich might be the greatest sandwich ever created. I mean this honestly. And from the Earl of Sandwich all the way to the present day, I think the peanut butter and jelly has to be at the very top of the sandwich list. At the pinnacle of the sandwich pyramid is peanut butter and jelly. Why did we stop eating it? If you're like my age, there was like, I ate peanut butter and jelly, I ate it. And then about 14 years old, I just stopped eating it and I didn't have it again until I was 30. And I was like, what have I done with the last 16 years of my life? Why would I ever have done that? All right. Peanut butter and jelly is incredible. Same thing with the grilled cheese. You go back to the grilled cheese and you're like, why did I ever get fancy with all the sandwiches I liked? The grilled cheese sandwich is basically perfection too. It's bread and it's cheese. And yet we give it up and then our kids come back and they like it. I'll tell you something else. The fucking chicken tender is incredible. There's never been anybody who fucked up a chicken tender. I've never in my life eaten a chicken tender and been like, you know what? That was bad. I wish I had not eaten that chicken tender. So I said, like, people are like, what are you going to have at weddings? People always get fancy and they're like, well, what about everybody who has to have the fancy? You just fucking make chicken tenders and everybody will be happy. That's what I told my wife at our wedding. She's like, we got to have steak. We got to have a veggie option. We got to have a gluten-free option. I'm like, fuck all that. You just make chicken tenders. And if people don't like chicken tenders, I frankly don't think they should be able to come to my wedding. Because I've never met anybody that doesn't like a chicken tender. I've never met somebody who was like, you know what? I was thinking about having that breaded chicken, and then I ate it, and then I felt bad about it. No, it doesn't happen. All three of those things kids love came right back into my life. That's why I'm fat now, because I got into chicken tenders. And also peanut butter and jelly. And also grilled cheese. But you know what? I'm going to die a happy fat man. All right? Then we got cheerleader. Then we got gangbang. And then I love this one. Lesbians is number 1 overall. All right? Lesbians is number 1 overall. Also in the top 20. All right? Also in the top 20, lesbians scissoring. So not specific enough for you to get in the lesbian video. You jerk perverts are out there typing in, I need lesbians and I need them scissoring. What else are the lesbians doing? I'm not an expert in the lesbian sexual oeuvre, all right? But it seems to me that scissoring would have to be pretty high on the list of what lesbians do. I mean, I guess they could rub each other's boobs. I guess they could kiss, but scissoring has to be pretty high on the list, right? I don't know. This seems to me like being like, I want sex, and then typing in missionary sex. Well, I would think most people who have engaged in sex at some point have done missionary sex. I don't know that in the lesbian video search, you need to specify scissoring, but some of you bastards are such sickos that you have to specialize. POV, not into the POV. I'm not into the POV because, first of all, I know it's not me. Like, I don't understand why some of you out there are watching a dick get sucked that you can't see the guy on, and you're fooling yourself into thinking that it's your own penis that's being sucked. I don't understand that at all. I know it's not my penis. I can see my penis. It's not on the phone. It's in my hand. I don't need to pretend that suddenly there's simultaneously my penis in my hand and also on the screen. I think this is for really dumb people who don't have any actual mental processes, that they see a penis on the screen and it's a penis and they're like, oh, that's my dick there. No, it's not. Your dick is in your hand and you're watching somebody else's dick. I would much rather know whose dick it is than try to pretend that it's my own dick. I don't know. I don't get this whole POV thing. My wife asked me about this. She said, why isn't all porn POV? I said, because men know that it's not their penis. Like, I know my penis if I see it. I pee with it every day. It's right there in my hand. It's right here in my pants right now. It's not on this screen getting sucked by this beautiful naked girl. I wish it was. POV is point of view. POV is point of view porn. I wish it was. I wish I could just hit my iPhone and a beautiful girl would show up and just suck my dick and I'd be like, well, this is amazing. That's what virtual reality porn is going to be. And that's why America's just going to go all to hell. But when I see the POV thing, I look at it every now and then I'll be watching a video and it'll switch to the POV where it's just the guy's penis. And I'm like, I don't need this. I don't need this at all. If I wanted, and by the way, if it was my POV, it'd be like a girl, like my wife, who's like kind of not very interested in sucking my dick. That's what the POV would be like from my perspective. It'd be like one suck. Do I have to do this? Can we do something else? 2 sucks. How long is this going to take? Are you drunk? Do we really have to do this right now? That's what my POV would be like if I were videoing my own dick getting sucked. It wouldn't be like some 19-year-old girl just in love with my penis, like just falling all over herself about how much she loved to suck my dick. It'd be like my wife doing 1 suck and being like, all right, can we have sex now? 2 sucks. How long is this going to have to go on? Are you done with this yet? Are you sure you didn't have too much to drink tonight? I'm telling you, you POV guys are just losers. Then we get big tits. And then I love this. Korean and Chinese. So I don't understand how all that's not just rolled into one, because we have specific people out there looking for Japanese girls. We have specific people looking for Korean girls. We have specific guys looking for Chinese girls. And then we have the whole cloth Asian. I don't know who these guys are. It must be Asian dudes, right? Because I don't think that your average white guy or your average black guy or your average Hispanic guy is like thinking I have to have a specific type of Asian girl in my porn or I can't enjoy it. I thought I liked this girl, but then I found out that she was Japanese and not Korean. I don't think, this is my argument, all right? Women, I don't know how women think at all, right? Clearly at all, but I know how men think. I'll tell you this right now. Men don't see race. They see hot. If you are a guy and you see a girl and decide whether you like her or not based on her race, that means you are racist. That's the perfect number 1 test, I think. I don't see race at all. I see hot or I see not. Doesn't matter what color skin the person has. You show me a girl, I'll be like hot or not hot. If you see a girl and your first thought is, oh, she's Hispanic, I don't like Hispanic girls, that means you're racist. If you see a girl and you think, oh, that girl is black, I don't like black girls, that means you're racist. And if you see a white girl and you think, oh, that girl is white, I don't like white girls, it means you're racist. For me, sex for women, in terms of the way that I think about women, it's totally a binary. It's either hot or not. All right? That's my standard. Nothing to do with race. Nothing to do with anything else, just straight down, do I find her attractive or do I not find her attractive? That's it. I know instantaneously before I even think, before I even have like a second to contemplate it. Anyway, that is the top 20 most searched for terms of 2017. I feel like we could do a whole show. Maybe we need to do the whole show tomorrow because there's so much data in here. We can find out who the most popular porn stars are. We can find out what women look up. Are you curious what women look up? I'm always kind of curious because I have no idea what women are like. You know, every guy thinks like, oh, I understand women. Oh, I understand. No, you don't. You don't really. You claim that you do, but you really just understand what a guy thinks a woman will think. And by the way, women are the same way. Women don't understand men. They think what they think men would like, right? That's the way they actually think. They have all these countries broken up so you can see which country is the most perverted. What is Mexico like? What is Mexico like? Hentai, number 2. Lesbian, stepmom. Does Mexico like sex and sport and Overwatch is like number 10 in Mexico. I don't know what country is the most perverse. What about the Netherlands? What's the Netherlands into? Pine? I don't even know what that is. There you go. Like, I'm just missing out. That's the Philippines. Sorry. What's the Netherlands? What's the Netherlands into? Here's the Netherlands. The Netherlands is into Dutch. They look for Dutch porn. Then they look for lesbians, MILFs, stepmoms, mom. They're basically the same as us. Squirt. They like squirt. I don't even know what JOI is. Can somebody tell me what JOI is? Jerk off. Does that stand for something? What does JOI stand for? JOI. Anybody know? I don't even know. See, this is like, I feel like an old man. I see some of this stuff and I'm like, I don't even know what this, it's like POV. It's like I have no idea what JOI is. Jerk off instructions? Is it jerk off Oh my God. Who is looking at jerk off instructions? What does that consist of? Is there somebody who doesn't know how to jerk off? Oh my God. I don't even know. Like, that's crazy. Sweden, amateurs, by the way, not listed, major upset. I don't know why you want to look at professional porn stars when there's people doing it for the love of the game out there. The most viewed categories, I ran through all that. Top gaming. Topping off, here's a good one. Topping off the list. What surged in 2017? What were the highest unrated coming in? Cuckold have increased by 72%. Transgender increased by 36%. Cartoon up 25%. And amateur, people spent more time watching amateur videos. Well, I'm kind of curious what the fetish, like, is there fetishes? Let's see. What do gay people like? Oh, what do gay people like the most? Well, Japanese and Korean, straight first time. This is a big thing for gay people. They like to convince straight people that are actually gay that they should be straight, I guess. Straight first time, most popular other than Japanese and Korean. Straight friend. Oh, so you're like, oh, I've got a friend who may or may not be gay, and I'm going to convince them that what they've been dreaming of their whole life is to get fucked in the ass. Interesting. Black, bareback, straight seduced. Oh, you're a straight guy, but I'm going to convince you that we should fuck. College roommates, daddy. These are gay dudes top searched. Big black dick, twink. I don't even want to know what that is. I don't think it's connected to the Twinkie, but I don't even know what twink is. Cartoon, Asian, massage. All right, so there we go. Let's see. Most searched for terms by gender. I got to do a whole show on this sometimes. Most searched for terms by gender. What do you think women's favorite things to look up were based on their gender? According to Pornhub data, lesbians. Number one, God bless women. Number one most searched for, according to women, number one most searched for term, lesbians. Women are into lesbians, all right? That is incredible. Men's favorites, MILF. Most popular search. And by the way, lesbian dwarfs everything else for women. Lesbian dwarfs everything else for women. This goes to my point, by the way. Every man, I've told my wife this, every man, if a woman comes to them and says, guess what? I'm secretly gay and I've been having a torrid love affair with another woman, every man's first thought is, well, how hot is she? And then also, could we have a threesome, right? How hot is she? And then could we have a threesome? I've told my wife this before. If a man comes home to his wife, and says, I got to confess something to you, baby. I've been having an affair with another dude. You want to know the difference in the sexes? The man thinks the affair with the woman probably pretty hot. The woman immediately divorces the man if she finds out that he's been having gay sex secretly. It's true. Like, every woman's worst fear is that her husband is one of two things. Either a total loser or gay. That's every woman's worst fear. Every man's worst fear is that his wife or girlfriend is crazy. Number two most popular search for women. Lesbians scissoring. Women, number one, lesbians. Number two, lesbians scissoring. Number three, threesomes. This is why women are so much hotter than men. They have so much hotter, likable things. And then we get into Japanese, rough sex, gangbang, massage, big black dick, lesbian threesome, cheerleader. One of the top searches for women is cheerleader porn. I don't know about you, but this is like one of the hottest things I've ever seen. And then we get teen, and then we get lesbian search. And cheerleader searches are up 1,019% in 2017 for women, which may be the greatest stat I have ever heard in the history of America. All right? Then also for men, MILF, stepmom, Japanese, hentai, mom, teen, lesbian. The women's favorite searches is so much better. Here's the paragraph. Women on women is still the preference for 2017 based on the lesbian category. In fact, women proportionally viewed the lesbian category 197% more than men did in 2017. In addition, the big dick category, it's good for us. The big dick category was bumped down from the second most viewed category to the third most viewed category. Bad year for big dicks. Bad year for big dicks in the polling. Threesome took second place, and female-friendly remained as fourth. Big dick was also 31% more popular for women when compared to men this year. I don't know about you, but if you're a dude and you decide to type in big dick when you go look for porn, I think you may be gay. Of all the things you could look for in your porn, you want to find a guy with a big dick. All the things you could be searching for. And the thing that you decide to type in is, you know what I want to see? A dude with a big fat dick. That might mean you're gay. Not an expert, but I would bet that straight men searching for big dicks is pretty far down the list of all the things you could be searching for. And also, the pussy licking category was 393% more popular for females, along with increased interest in the female-friendly, rough sex, threesome, and double penetration categories when compared to men. This is pretty amazing. Pornhub is 26% female, by the way, which is much higher than I would have anticipated. 74% men, 26% women. And let's see. The country with the highest percentage of women coming to look at porn, the Philippines. Followed by Brazil, South Africa, India, Sweden. The United States is actually pretty far down on this list. Anyway, this is what's most popular porn star by women is Kim Kardashian, and Mia Khalifa is in third place. I actually follow Mia on Twitter. We need to get her on the show. She's in third place for women, and she's been passed by Riley Reid, who sounds like she could be a wide receiver for the Georgia Bulldogs team. I think that's Riley Ridley. I need to look up Riley Reid. I don't know her at all. The most popular man is Johnny Sins, followed by Bruce Venture. I'm looking at some of these guys, and I'm not that familiar with them. Also, James Dean. All right, average age, 35 years old. So they're basically the same age as me, and that is the category. All right. That is incredible. I need to look up Riley Reid. A lot of opinions on Riley Reid rolling in. All right. This is our yearly breakdown of the Pornhub statistics. I should have just made this an entire show. And maybe, in fact, we will do an entire Pornhub show. I think I had something else that I was going to talk about, but I've gone way over in talking about all of these details. I love you. Thank you for hanging with me. My name is Clay Travis. You've been watching Outkick the Show, where we talk. I didn't even get to the top quarterbacks. I'll talk about the top quarterbacks tomorrow. In the meantime, thanks to Pornhub. Thanks to you guys. My name is Clay Travis. This has been Outkick the Show. Thanks for hanging with us here on a spectacular Sunday. DBAP. And don't go out there searching for hentai, you disgusting bastards. I'll see you.